Welcome to the Roasted Snow Horror Show,
where fear and dread go head to head.
Welcome to the show, where the screams collide, where blood runs cold, and the shadows hide. Each week a fight, two films will clash. Last week's champ, will it burn to ash? The Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and gore will always flow. One film wins, one must go. The Roasted Snow Horror Show. Lights go down, the fight begins. Which nightmare takes the final win? You pick your side, we'll break it down. The Roasted Snow, the goriest showdown.
and here are your hosts.
Chris and Ryan!
Welcome, everyone, to the Roasted Snow Horror Show, where fear and dread go head-to-head. I'm your host, Ryan Rosted. Everybody thinks my last name is Roasted, and I'm whispering because I got the title wrong of the movie we're covering. So, with me is, Chris the Snowman, the sexual Tyrannosaurus, the Viagra pill with a face, the guy that calls me on my shit when I get a movie title wrong. Chris Snow.
You're
What's up?
damn right. I'm good, buddy. How the heck are you?
I'm good. I'm really glad we don't have to whisper this whole episode. If you guys don't know, if you didn't check out our last episode, I was doing a kind of a preview, a promo for this episode, and I said, we're going to cover this movie called Whisper. And we did this whole bit on it. It was, we went on
Fun
for
fact.
way too long. Yep.
Fun fact, I thought Ryan was talking about a movie that we needed to see that I had not heard about or knew what he was talking about. I was like, do I need to make plans to go see this? And then I realized, oh, he's talking about the movie we're talking about tonight, which is called Whistle.
Yeah, he's like, the movie's called Whistle. I'm like, I know, that's what I said. And you're like, no, you didn't. You said Whisper, and we did a whole thing on it. So
if you guys aren't into Roasted Snow ASMR, don't listen to that bit.
Mm-hmm. But I did speak about a movie that was coming out where it was like the most terrifying movie you've ever heard, and it's called Undertone. And that is, it's an A24. They showed a preview for that before this movie, actually. And I can't wait to cover that one, because that one looks absolutely awesome. But
I don't know if you saw the text
there.
I sent you today. Mike
yeah.
Flanagan is basically on that same note of movies that are coming out. Mike Flanagan is redoing The Mist, which you already know is going to be fantastic.
I wonder if he's going to try and redo the ending and try to one-up it. I don't know how you do that, because we both had it on our list of best twist endings in a horror movie.
I almost feel like you have to, because everyone will be expecting it if he doesn't. You know what I mean? It'd be like remaking The Sixth Sense. It's like we already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe Haley Joel Osment is dead now.
There you go.
Maybe. Yeah, and then I don't know if you saw, I tagged you on Facebook, but you had said your number one body horror was Hellraiser, and they just announced a new Hellraiser movie.
It was The Game, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been The Game. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just saw Hellraiser and I tagged you.
I was going to say, he was listening to me when I told him The Game's coming out. We're going to do a live podcast and I'll stream it for you guys.
Yeah. We'll get jump scared and whatever, and Pinhead will, rip hooks into you or whatever. We do have to say, though, before we get started, so we're recording this a little later than normal, and we actually heard earlier today that Dawson from Dawson's Creek, James Vanderbeek, sadly passed away.
God bless.
Obviously not a big horror guy, but he was, he did some How I Met Your Mother stuff. Obviously, he did Dawson's Creek.
Varsity Blues.
Yeah. Like, obviously, we didn't know him, but, like, he genuinely seemed like a great dude. All the way around. I believe he had 6 kids that he's leaving behind. It's just, like you said before we came on, like, cancer's a bitch, man. Like, so, R.I.P. James Vanderbeek, man. Yeah. But
Feels weird to us because these are the people that we grew up with. Brad Arnold of Three Doors Down last week, God bless, and cancer as well. So, it feels strange.
Yeah, and,
it was really strange.
They were like, yeah, he wrote Kryptonite, and I'm like, Jesus.
We're doing, my band is playing Kryptonite, and yours truly will be singing it Friday and Saturday.
Let's go. What is your band called?
Yeah, this one's kind of been brewing under the radar for all of you listeners out there. But your boy joined a band last fall, actually just before we started the podcast. Band's called the Munchies. We play a lot of dance stuff, alt rock, pop rock, R&B, country, all the stuff that you'd want to hear in a bar if you're out drinking. So we have our my first shows. The band's kind of been together in different formations before I joined. I joined as the guitarist and the second vocalist. But yeah, we have my first shows with the band this Friday, February 13th, and Saturday as well, 14th. So Valentine's Day weekend at the Angry Clover in Aurora. And I'm really looking forward to it. I was in a band when I lived in Glenwood Springs, and it's been about 8 years since I got to be on stage and do my thing. So I'm looking forward to shaking the dust off and rocking and rolling. I am. I know the skill is kind of like riding a bike, and I know the second I hit that first chord, I'm going to be right back in it. But it's one of those things, I haven't done it in 8 years. Do I still have it? And I'm 40 pounds heavier than I was doing it 8 years ago. So
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I don't know that I'll be jumping around as much as I used to, but I'm sure the energy will still be there.
He's the fastest man alive.
Halfway through, I'll be like, I'll be sitting on a stool playing my songs. Singing into the microphone. Superman. Somebody hold it for me.
Hey. Don't play keep away with it. Seriously, guys, if you didn't check out our last episode, check it out. It's really funny. But,
there's some fun references in there.
If you guys are in Aurora, in the Colorado area, don't have any plans Friday or Saturday night, go check out the Munchies. I mean, come on, what a name. Fucking love it.
Come out, say hi, shake a hand.
Yeah,
do little jigs.
Say the Roasted Snow sent you.
We'll get you a beer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you'll have to pay for it, but well, it's a nice gesture. But all right, so we know your Valentine's Day plans, and actually I should have planned this a little better to have some Valentine's theme, but there's not that too many Valentine's horror movies out there. Obviously, we've talked about Hard Eyes in the past.
My Bloody Valentine, I think.
My Bloody Valentine. There's a movie called Valentine, where it's the mass killer. There's not that much in this genre. So we're gonna do the next best thing, and we love to just talk new movies, and
that's the goal, baby.
Get this title right. So we got this movie. It's been under the radar. I think you have to have the right algorithm on Facebook or Twitter to see promos for it. Because even we were talking, we're like, I don't know what we're going to cover next week, and we were looking through, and we're like, oh hey, Love and Basketball's playing. But
one of our favorites.
Yeah. It's scary, sure. But so we came across this, and I'm literally reading the description to Chris. He's like, fuck it, let's cover it. Let's go. So that's how that came to be. And this one, basically the premise, spoiler-free premise, is these kids, they're in high school, and they come across an ancient Aztec death whistle. And if we're covering it here, I bet you know what they do with it. Essentially, if they blow it, anyone that hears it has their own death is coming for them. Kind of like a Kmart version of Final Destination. Instead of death itself coming after you, it is your actual death. So let's say I live to be 90 and die of cancer. That version of myself is going to come try and kill my current self. Your destiny could be to die in a week in a car crash, and that person's coming to get you. Basically, the philosophy behind this is that when someone is born, their death is also born, and it just takes the predetermined amount of time for them to meet. This movie speeds that up. There's a new girl that comes into school. She's got a backstory. What were your initial impressions on this? Without giving anything away, it's literally they blow a whistle and they have to try and figure out as their own death is coming for them.
I'm all for the premise. Heavy, and as the movie went on, heavy Final Destination 2 vibes. And we'll get into specifically why 2 is kind of the overall vibe that I took away from it. But I think a lot of people are kind of fascinated with that idea of like, if you do X, your death is going to be sped up, right? In Final Destination, it's like, oh, you avoided your death, so now it's coming down to get you. In this one, you blow the whistle, and the actual markings on the whistle, as we'll get to, one of the characters in the movie realizes it. They mean summon your death, meaning you blow it, the death that is preordained for you is coming for you immediately. And rather than it being 40, 50, 60 years in the future, it's coming to you now. So, cool concept. I think for non-millennials, those of us who didn't live through the Final Destination heyday, I think it would be something nice and new and fresh and super exciting. And I'm not saying the movie was bad at all, but I think, heavy Final Destination 2 vibes. Final Destination 2 vibes.
And I love the spin on it, because that's what's made Final Destination so great. It's this unseen force that's coming for you. You can't do anything to stop it, and you don't know what's going to get you. You don't know if you set this glass in the wrong spot, is that going to trigger a chain of events that will end up with you, getting decapitated or something. This one, it literally is, yourself is coming for you, and it has... That's its only goal, is to get you. And you die the way that you would have died had you lived your entire full life. So obviously we'll get into the character development and kind of the story in general. This movie has Nick Frost in it, which I'm pretty sure he has a deal with Shudder, because this is like his third Shudder movie in the last
He's popping
months.
Up a lot. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the movie Get Away that had him in it with I think it's on Shudder right now. It was in the
That's one where he's like driving, right?
Yeah. Him and his family take a trip to some commune island thing. It's funny enough. We can get into that another time. But if you don't have any other issues, we can get into the spoiler version. Here we go.
Let's jump in with both feet, baby.
Let me blow that whistle, baby. Whistle.
Insert clip of whistle blowing here. All right, that's the starter whistle.
Which, ironically, so this movie starts off with a basketball referee whistle. It starts off at a basketball game. I forget I think it's the Wolves is the team of the main character, and I just found this weird. They're playing a team called the fucking Stalkers. Like Stalkers.
I never thought about that. I never put that together.
That was my first note. I'm just like, okay, what high school is the Stalkers?
How'd they get away with this?
Yeah. And basically, it's a close game. It's coming down to the wire. They're doing a huddle. And all I could think about, too, in this scene, I don't know if you ever saw that commercial. It's probably the worst commercial ever made. But it's about sportsmanship. And, the ball goes out of bounds, and they're huddling up, and the kid comes up, and he's like, "Coach, I touched the ball." His team's like, "No, man, what are you doing? It's a tie game." Yeah. They're like, "Hey, great job." It's like, that really happens in real life. You're like, shut the fuck up.
No one who wants to win a game is doing that crap. Has the people who made that commercial, did they ever play a competitive sport? Ever?
And I love the coach. He's just like, "Great job, kid." And his whole team hates him. He's getting, beat with a sock full of rocks in the locker room after the game. Anyway, neither here nor there. So this basketball game's going on. This character, he looks into the crowd and he sees this like smoky figure. You're like, oh, that's weird. He ends up, I believe, he sinks the game-winning three as a fiery entity is kind of coming after him, and he's celebrating, and then he just says, "Not yet, not yet, not yet," and he runs to the locker room, and it's kind of this chase scene. You're like, what the fuck's going on here?
I kind of got It Follows vibes on this point.
Kind of.
Because no one else can see that thing except him.
He's just, and at this point when I first saw it, because this movie, just so you guys know, I didn't even watch the trailer for this before I went into it. So
I went into it pretty blind.
Yeah. So I was like, because the CGI on this fiery entity isn't great. So I'm like, is this going to be the whole movie? Like, is it going to be this entity that comes after him? So there's this little kind of suspenseful chase scene in the locker room. His team ends up doing like a fake jump scare. He thinks the entity's coming, and it's the team coming to celebrate. So you think everything's okay. He goes to shower, and the fiery entity...
Well, he goes to his locker first, because he does something to something that's in there.
Yep. So he goes to his locker, and he pulls out what you come to realize is the Aztec Death Whistle. And as he thinks the entity is coming for him before his teammates get in there, and he smashes it, and he goes, "Look, it's done! It's done!" So you think it's done. Okay, cool. So then he goes into the shower. The entity obviously, is the first scene of the movie. Breaking it's not going to do anything. I don't know if you guys saw Conjuring's Last Rites, but they literally take the mirror that is haunted, and they take you literally see it getting crushed in the trash compactor, and it still comes back. So one of those type of deals. The fiery entity basically makes him bust into flames in the shower, which no one really seemed to raise an eyeball at.
This is strange.
It's like, wow, he spontaneously combusted in the shower.
How hot did he have that water?
I did say it starts off with a really hot shower scene, a really steamy shower scene. And
I see what you did there.
Mm-hmm. We got that. We got the jaw-dropping bedroom scene in Primate. We got a lot of scenes here. Basically, I think it's like a month later. I think it's a month later that they time jump to. This new girl's coming to the school. She's
best name of all time, by the way.
And I can't even remember what her name was.
So she goes by Chris, right?
That's right, Chris, yeah.
The full name is Chrysanthemum. I always wanted to be named after a pretty flower.
Right. And she's there with her cousin Raul. Raul. I forget his actual name.
I think it's Rel.
Rel
or something. Yeah.
R something.
Rel.
Doesn't matter.
Strange names for these kids.
Yeah,
Clearly their parents were hippies.
Right. And sorry to anyone out there named any of those.
Sorry to all the chrysanthemums of the
Yep, our lawyers will get in touch with you. So basically you learn through some exposition that her father has died, and she is kind of thinks she's to blame for it. She's very kind of goth emo looking, very standoffish, and she ends up her first day of school. She has the locker that was for this guy that died, and his nickname is written on the locker. Is it Wolf? Is it God? What was it?
Couldn't remember because it's like
his nickname is on the locker, so you know that it's him.
You know that it's his, yeah.
Yeah. So then she ends up meeting this group of friends. It's Grace, the pretty blonde. She has a friend. It's a chick that was in Yellow Jackets. They're friends. And then Grace's boyfriend, who's kind of a dickhead.
Ellie, Grace's other friend.
Yeah. Grace's other friend is Ellie, which they don't really get into a ton of their backstory. Kind of realize there may have been some history here with like Grace and Chris were best friends back in the day. Anyway, they're like, oh, we're having a pool party at my house later. You want to come?
Typical teenage horror movie fodder at this point.
Yeah.
Exposition.
And then walks out Nick Frost, our guy from Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and End of the World, or World's End, the Three Flavors trilogy there. And
Cornell.
He's the principal or teacher, whatever. And he basically doesn't like what they're saying, what they're doing, ends up giving them all detention. But in her locker, she pulled out was the death whistle. It came back. She doesn't really know what to make of it. They get into detention, and they're like, whoa, what's that? That's pretty cool. She's like, I don't know. It's in my locker. It was in the dead guy's locker. Basically, it gets confiscated by Nick Frost. He's looking it up online. He's like, oh, this is worth a lot of money. And this is where they get into the translation that's written on it. He's trying to figure it out, and literally Grace is just on her computer, and she's like, it means this. It basically means they don't get it right at first. It's
right. He thinks it means summon the dead.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't great either.
No. I would stay away from anything that has any kind of translation like that. I've seen enough horror movies that are like, there's this weird thing that just randomly showed up in my locker that is in the shape of a skull. What I should do is blow into it and keep it on my person.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I did think it was kind of smart how they did it, though, how it comes to be, because he dismisses them early from detention because he wants to cash in on this. He sees it like it's gonna be like $15,000 or something. Like he's in for a major payday. He's on a teacher's salary presumably, and he's like booking cruises and this and that. But it says, is it in working condition? Good working condition. And that's when he Now his his classroom is closed. He blows the whistle. It lets out this huge screech, and it actually cracks the glass on the window. So you can tell that's a very powerful force here that is that's making it happen. Now, if you want to take it from here on what he meets, what is Mr. Nick Frost's fates here?
Poor Mr. Nick Frost, our buddy. Always a fun character, and not so much in this one though. Well, so Mr. Craven, the poor bastard, is stalked by a sickly-looking apparition of himself later that night. I should say, to your point, when he kicks them all out of detention, he says, "You guys can leave," and he kind of starts doing his theme. I kind of hated this next character that we get introduced to, Noah. I really hated
I did too.
thing they did
I was
with
like,
Noah.
what the
I was
fuck
like, what
is
are you
the
guys
point
doing
here? Yeah.
So, quick aside, we're going to get back to Mr. Craven here in a minute, but as soon as he kicks him out of detention, Chris, who has a history of drug abuse, by the way, kind of in her past, that's why she's moved around, she's approached by Noah, who, again, his character's really stupid. I don't know why they chose to write him this way, but he's a local youth pastor who decides to sell Chris drugs, and then later on he does something else. So you're just like, I thought this guy was a youth pastor. Like, do the people who created this movie just hate anyone in the faith? Like, they just want to make them look as bad as they possibly can? I thought it was weird, but we'll get to that.
There's some very pedophile-ish undertones, maybe.
Like,
yeah.
what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and he's like, I mean, he's a younger dude. Like, he's maybe just
The fact that he's a
college.
youth pastor, I'm like, why are you putting this dude in charge of kids? Bad idea. And number two, why do you guys have to make him a youth pastor? Make him like the town druggie. Make him the guy that graduated high school and just never left, who wears a Carhartt jacket.
This movie already does a lot of tropes like that. Like, just lean into that one, because I'm with you. When this guy came on, I was like, okay, like, where's this gonna go? Is he gonna have some redeeming qualities? Like, no.
Bad vibes.
Nowhere near
vibes.
it. Nowhere near it. No.
So anyway, back to Mr. Craven. He decides that later that evening, he goes back home. He goes home, and sure enough, similar to our buddy Mason, who's killed by someone who is just on fire, Mr. Craven is stalked by what looks to be kind of a mirror image of himself, and that person looks extremely sick. He's very gaunt, very emaciated. You look at him, you're just like, this guy, he doesn't look great. But long story short, he does catch up to poor Mr. Craven and kills him. So Nick Frost is out of the picture at this point.
Well, it turns out that he looks sickly because, and it shows Nick Frost. He's got a drawer full of old cigarettes. Like, he is a chain smoker.
And this is a huge plot point.
Yep.
Go ahead.
His apparition is dying of lung cancer. That is his fate. He will die of lung cancer, and I think he even, like, the apparition, like, puts his hand into Nick Frost, and it actually, like, turns his lungs to ash.
Yep.
So
it basically does everything. Like, it's kind of I will say the death scenes were kind of cool, like in concept, right? So, like in this one, he puts his hands like into his chest, and his lungs like just not combust, but turns into ash right there. It's kind of neat. So after our 5 students actually get kicked out of detention, they all head over to Grace's house, and they make the mistake of blowing the whistle.
Well, they go back into the school to get it.
They have to get the whistle back, yeah.
Yeah. They just, like, sneak in and take it. It doesn't really mean that much. You know it's going to happen. But, yeah, sorry. Back to the pool party.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot that part. It's actually Rel. Rel sneaks back in, and he sees what Mr. Craven's kind of researching, doesn't pay too much attention to it, but he's like, oh, this thing's worth money, and then takes the whistle back. So, after, obviously, all that stuff happens to Mr. Craven, they leave, and like I said, they're all hanging out at Grace's house, and sure enough, Grace herself blows the whistle, and they all hear it. So, kind of to the previous point, it's not just if you blow the whistle, it's if you hear the whistle being blown. Like, that's enough to set off your death to come get you. Now, in this case, you kind of see, like you said, the first time the whistle is blown, it breaks the glass. You can tell it's a serious thing. At this time, it hurts everyone who's listening to it. Like, they hear it, and they just kind of recoil because it hurts them. Yeah, exactly. Chris, our main character, Chrysanthemum, gets uncomfortable. She kind of leaves. But it's an interesting point, and we'll circle back to this a little bit later in the film. Ellie, Grace's friend, decides to invite her to the harvest celebration. You can kind of see there's a little bit of flirtatious energy between the two of them. She invites her to the harvest celebration in town, which is the next day. And Chris quickly, and I should say like later that night, after they kind of have this interaction, she admits to her cousin Rel that she's attracted to Ellie. So again, they have this flirtatious thing going on, and that's where you can tell that the relationship piece of this movie, as all teen horror movies have, will kind of be focused. But the following day, they get back to school, and sure enough, the faculty announces to everybody about Mr. Craven, who died the previous night. And the really interesting thing is they attribute his death to advanced lung cancer. So that, again, that future death caught up with him in the present. And when they did the autopsy, they're like, yeah, he had advanced lung cancer, and that's exactly what killed him, even though he had zero previous apparent symptoms.
This is what bugged me too, because they're like, oh yeah, I'm surprised he was even standing that day, and it's like, okay, maybe you can kind of believe that, but, people do miraculous things when they shouldn't be. But this is where I go back to the really hot shower scene. How the fuck do you explain that? I think they said it's like a gas leak, and it's like, really? Come on.
Yeah, people. I'm always interested in those movies where someone dies in a strange way and they rationalize the way out of it.
Mm-hmm. And
when the main character tries to tell someone what's going on, like, I need help. Here's what's happening, and the first thing the person they're telling, understandably, is like, this is pretty hard to believe, but they just rationalize their way out of what they're saying. Mm-hmm. Like Final Destination, it's just a coincidence. It's just coincidence. It's coincidence that everyone who got off the plane is dying rather rapidly in freak accidents. It's always a coincidence.
And there's a couple more deaths in this movie where you're just like, how the fuck are they going to explain this? But
yeah, come on, explain this one away.
Yeah, and actually, if we want to back up a little bit, after everybody leaves Grace's house, her death starts following her.
That's right.
And this one's a pretty creepy scene because she has a little brother that's in the house, and so she sees him. But in the background, you can see this old lady just like,
skittering,
just walking around. Yeah, crawling around. And she doesn't see it. She doesn't really. So she gets out of it. You're like, okay, cool. Like, it doesn't just kill you right off the bat. That's kind of neat.
And I will say one of the scary things about it too. No, you're good. You're good. One of the scary tropes about that, and this also goes back to why I think It Follows is so scary, is because even though she's not aware of it, you, the watcher, is aware that out there in the ether following her is her death. Just like It Follows. Like, out there in the ether somewhere, just walking a straight line towards you, no matter where you go, your death is walking right towards you. And it sees you and it's heading your way. That was always more scary to me than anything when I was a kid. It was like, someone's heading right for me. It doesn't know I don't care how far away they are. Yeah, they know I'm here and they're coming.
Well, terrifying. Yeah, and so from there, where they're in the assembly and they're telling about the principal, or the teacher, Nick Frost, that died, Ellie actually sees her death in front of her, and she dies.
Grace, Ellie, and Chris kind of see. Yeah, later in the movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So everybody starts to kind of see what their death is going to be. Rel, he hears like screaming, and he works in the mill, so he kind of has an idea that his death has to do with the mill.
In fact, he has a specific instance where he sees himself.
Probably not going to go too well for him.
Falling into machinery. Think 30 Days of Night at the very end. Mm-hmm. The grinder. Kind of like that. Yep.
Yeah. And then the other friend, Grace's boyfriend, and I forgot his name the moment I walked out of the theater. He's the star basketball player. That's why he was close to the guy that died in the opening scene. His death, he doesn't really see it yet, but there's a lot of exposition about how he likes to do a really bad hobby, and he does it all the time, of drinking and driving. And what I found funny about this is, like, he's at his house and his dad is like, I told you to stop drinking and driving. Like, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Dad, I will.
Yeah, the kid's 17, maybe.
That's just cool.
It's like, what the fuck? Dude,
yeah,
I'll never forget the first time.
He's like taking out mailboxes as he's driving.
Insanity. Complete insanity. Oh, his name was Dean. Dean. It just came to me. Dean. So, where were we? I forget where we were. Oh, yeah, the assembly. So they've all seen their death. They all kind of get the feeling that they all get the feeling that they're kind of being watched, and they're seeing, again, they're kind of seeing their deaths, and they're kind of seeing their the visions of their death coming for them. Chris and Ellie decide to take the whistle back to Mason's family. They're like, it was in Mason's locker. Maybe his family knows something about it. Let's just give it back to his family. Anyway, they go home and they encounter his grandmother. I think her name was Ivy. Who's terminally ill. She's extremely sick. She's almost dead. And they see that she has a vast collection of like paranormal, occultic items from all over the world. Like it's a whole collection. You can kind of see where Mason got this thing. But they give it back to her, and she's like, oh, she explains that this artifact is called, I wrote it down, it's called an Olmec. And that means
Vagina
it's an
dentata.
Olmec. Vagina dentata. It's a vagina dentata death whistle. And the inscription that they thought meant...
Blow me.
You had to do it. I like it. The inscription actually translates to summon your death, not summon. What did we say? What did he say they think it was? Summon death. Summon the dead.
Death, yeah.
Yeah, summon the dead. It actually means summon your death. So they learned that the whistle actually summons the death of all who hear it. Again, not just the one that blows it, all that hear it. Death appears as the listener in their final moments. So, and it basically kills them whenever way they're destined to die. Like you said, Mr. Craven dies of advanced lung cancer. Our buddy Mason at the beginning died burning up, so probably he was going to burn up in something. We see, Chris is seeing an old lady kind of stalking her. So it's like, oh, okay, you're going to live to old age, and that's probably what's going to kill you. And then our buddy Rel is seeing visions of himself falling into machinery. So these are the ways that all these people are going to die. So you can kind of start seeing the Final Destination vibes. We're going to pour it on heavy here in a minute. Ellie, I think it was Ellie, she takes a look at the medical files, the autopsy files, basically, of Mason. And this is interesting because the medical files claim that the coroner who did his autopsy identified his age as a man in his late 40s, despite the fact that he was despite the fact that he was 17. They're like, yeah, this is the body of a man in his late 40s. So it's almost as if your future death, ages you to whatever age you're going to die as well. So that's a key part of it too.
Yeah, so it's an awesome concept. I
love the concept. I'm cool with it. And the idea that it's like, blow a whistle. I'm kind of into those movies that have a cool concept like that, where it's like you do this one thing and then your death is hurried. I don't know if you saw the movie Countdown that Tom Segura starred in. It was where you download the app on your phone and it counts down to your death, and as soon as it reaches 0, it kills you.
And that's the one where he plays the store the store employee,
the doc,
right? Yeah,
the phone doc.
Yeah. He's like, can I speak to the manager? Hi.
Hi, I'm the manager. You just lost a customer. Oh, no, really? You think I'll be able to find another one? Or
Tom Segura, man. Love him.
Love Tom.
God. He does a bit where he's just like... He's like, I went to a movie and there was a baby in the movie. A fucking baby.
Going, wah. Someone stood up and said, either shut it up or get it out.
Yeah, he's like... He's like, guess what? If you have a kid and you can't find a babysitter, you don't get to go to the movie.
I think about that every time I watch Hereditary, because I'll never forget. Small aside, I went to see Hereditary in the theater years ago, and this family had 6 or 7, maybe 5 or 6 year olds, 2 ladies lined up next to him. Thankfully, as soon as the movie started, the manager came in and was like, excuse me, this is an R-rated film. You guys can't be in here with these kids. So they kicked him out. Because the kids during the whole preview were being 5 or 6 year olds. Someone finally went out and was like, we're not putting up with this. Dude, I was like, what the hell are you doing bringing these kids to Hereditary? Did you guys walk into the wrong theater? That's what I had to believe was happening, because there's no way they brought these kids to see Hereditary.
Dude, there were like 2 8-year-olds in Primate when I went to go see that. And as a parent, that was always my number one, is I'm like, look, I understand. I have kids. I'm not going to be able to see movies all the time like I used to. And now they're both to the age now where they might still be a little rowdy, but we only take them to kids' movies, obviously, because I'm not a fucking idiot. having said that, because somebody asked, they're like, "Are you going to take them to see Scream 7?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a monster. They're only on Scream 4 right now."
I love that. I love it. They're only halfway through the series. They can't see the next one.
Well, I think you've probably seen on Facebook, anytime I take them to a kids movie, I tag them in a R-rated movie.
So, fun fact, I was going to text you and be like, did you really take Riley with you to see this film? Like, what do you... I was like, I mean... You're your own dad. You get to do what you want, but damn, bro.
Yeah, it was like I think the last one. I think I took her to God.
Probably Zootopia, right?
No, I didn't see that one. I think it was like the Bad Guys 2 or something, and it was when The Housemaid was in theaters. So I was like, "Hey, I'll tag us watching The Housemaid," and just like see how many people I could rile up. And Mike, of course, is one of them, and that's where the joke started. Was because I tagged them in. I tagged Riley in a picture, was like, "Hey, we're here to see my favorite movie, Saw X." And he was like, "Did you really take her to see that?" I'm like, "No, I'm not a monster. We're only on Saw 3 right now." She'd have no idea what's going on, okay?
She wouldn't even know who Jigsaw is.
Yeah, he's not dead yet in that movie. So, yeah, spoiler alert, sorry. But yeah, so just an aside, that is one of my biggest pet peeves of all time is parents that take their kids, and parents try to do it with... I'm sorry we're on this tangent now, but now I'm fired up.
That's what the Roast No Horror Show is about. Yeah. It's not scripted.
Even parents that take their newborns that sleep most of the time, like, I get the basic concept. You need some time away, and people always say, they're like, "Oh, well, you know..." It's funny because they're like, "Sleep while the baby's sleeping." And it's like, okay, well, the baby's sleeping when I'm driving the car and when I'm in Target and all that. So that never really works out. But yeah, I'm just like, God, I never would do that. Like,
if you bring your infant, toddler, newborn child to a film because you think they're just going to sleep through it in the loud theater, you're a psychopath. Mm-hmm. You're a psychopath, and the people at the front, the box office, should stop you. Be like,
no.
Sorry.
Well, it's like
kids are legal inside the theater.
It was an unfortunate circumstance, but one of the victims at the Aurora Theater shooting was a child. Like, why are you taking your kid to see a midnight showing of The Dark Knight? Like, Dark Knight Rises. What? Like, and obviously you can't predict what's going to happen there. It's not trying to blame the parents or anything. It's just, it was a sad circumstance, neither here nor there. But yeah, don't take your kids to movies that they shouldn't be in.
Damn it.
Guess what? When they are in high school, they will sneak into rated R movies, okay? Like, they will see them.
You're going to start using language a lot more casual, all those things.
Yep. And especially now, I think it's probably gotten a little better because things come out on streaming a lot quicker. So it's like, oh, I missed this one in the theater, but in a month I can spend $10 at home and watch it. So in that sense, it's good. I don't even remember how we got on this topic, but fucking don't take your kids to movies.
We were talking about we were talking about I don't know how we got here, man. We were talking about the medical files of Mason having been in his late 40s, and we somehow got to stop taking your kids to movies.
Yeah, or else they will burn in a shower and be 40.
And be 40 years old. Roast No Horror Show, folks.
Yep,
Tune in.
That's what we do.
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
We are, as soon as Ellie and Chris leave Ivy's house, Mason's grandma, they run to the harvest celebration to warn their friends that their death is coming for them. I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. And, they all dress up in their costumes, and this is where another weird aspect of the movie.
Noah.
Oh, what? Yeah. Well, where does he come in at this?
Oh,
that's right.
Ambushes Chris and Ellie, and he threatens them with a knife. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
And then Chris knocks him out. It's just like, again, yeah, you're just like, this is the pastor of the town. Okay, fine. That's weird. Another aspect of this is Rel. He dresses up as the Revenger, and he has some infatuation with Grace. Grace is very pretty. He's clearly had a crush on her for a long time. They don't really dive that much into it. And he basically confesses his love before the the festival. And she basically puts him in the friend zone and is like, look, you are so great, and you're going to make some girl really happy someday.
Boy, the amount of times I heard that growing up.
Fuck. There was a time, sorry, another aside here. I was walking to lunch at work, and I'll never forget it. I was walking past this guy, or I was walking past this girl that was on the phone, and all I heard on the conversation was she said, look at, I see you as a brother, so like I don't really want to be romantic, or like, we shouldn't be sexually involved. Like, I just love you as a friend. And I was just like, I think I put on Facebook, I was like, I got to pour one out for this poor soul on the other side of this phone right now.
Pour one out for the homies.
And she lets him down pretty easy. And it's kind of weird because at this point, her douchebag boyfriend who, he drives drunk all the time. He gets on to people. He basically claimed that Chris was responsible for her father's death, and this is the first time that he's met her.
He's a pretty horrible dude.
Yeah, and they try to turn that around a little later in the movie that we'll get into, which was weird. But she basically lets him down, and obviously he's heartbroken. But it's just like they try to force this, like, it's the love of his life type thing, and it doesn't hit. You're just like, okay, he got friend zone. I don't really care.
Yep. We've all been there, buddy.
Yeah. They end up. It's Grace and her boyfriend. They're gonna race to the center of the maze, which is apparently the big thing in this town. And Grace is like, I'm gonna beat you, ha ha ha. She starts running through this maze, and her death starts to follow her. And this is one of my favorite notes in the movie because there's this chase sequence. She's just like, get away from me, you old bitch. And this is where I found out that Grace is a World War II veteran because
she uses the good old-fashioned shovel.
Picks up the fucking shovel, which made me think, I'm like, I gotta have an all shovel team at some point. But
what would you call them? The shovelers?
I call it the fuck. I don't even know. I'm not that creative right now, but I'll figure it out. God damn it! But she's on it. Somebody from Primates in it. I got a whole thing, guys. Basically, I would play Call of Duty World War II, and the only weapon I would use is a shovel. So the joke is that that's my my World War II PTSD is that. But she picks up the shovel, and this is a kind of neat concept too, because she starts hitting the old lady, and as she's hitting her, like, she hits her on the side of the head, and boom, a wound pops up on Grace's face. It's like she's literally beating the shit out of herself.
It reminded me of, you remember Looper with Bruce Willis?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
If he hurts himself in the past, it hurts him in the future.
Yep. And so she ends up literally knocking herself out with the shovel. I'm just like, hey, I mean, there's some World War II analogy there somewhere. Yep. I was like, God damn it, Grace. And then basically, she will die of old age. That is, she lives this long, healthy life.
Good as you can ask for. Good as you can ask for.
Yeah, exactly. And but old Grace doesn't. She basically turns young Grace, who's in this, she's in the sexy outfit, into an old lady. And she is turning into it as she's ringing the bell on the top of the maze, and that's a pretty cool
she caught
scene.
It. Yep. Ding.
And her hand is all turning all old and gray, and her boyfriend stumbles upon her and sees her and doesn't believe that it's her. She's like, oh, that's a sick joke.
Yes. Old sick bitch.
And in his defense, I mean, it's kind of what I would think too, is I'm like, you were 18 a minute ago, and now you're 90? So he doesn't know what to think. Obviously, Ellie and Chris come in and they try and tell them, like, no, like, this is what happens, and he doesn't believe it. So, of course, he ends up getting drunk, driving home, which is apparently just a slap on the wrist in his household.
Well, and he's haunted when he gets there. He's haunted by, like, a mutilated version of himself.
And I will say, his death is the coolest by far in this movie.
100%. And he deserves it, too, little son of a bitch.
Yep. But this is where they try to, like, really drive home the point that, like, he's not that bad of a dude, because he pulls out, like, a ring. Like, he was going to propose to Grace, like, and he's got, like, pictures of her everywhere. Like, he's this madly in love guy. And I think this is after they actually identify the body as Grace, and it's like, how the fuck are you gonna? Was it a gas leak that turned her 90 years old? Like,
explain this one away. Rationalize this one.
Yeah, it makes no sense. No sense at all. I don't even know how to explain his death because it is so. It is one of the redeeming qualities in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, the mutilated version of himself, you could tell, is probably due to a car accident. In a car accident. So, and he drinks and drives all the time, so it makes sense. But yeah, the injuries, like, you basically see him the next morning, right? Because the night before is kind of where he catches up to himself. But you see his corpse the next morning, and it's just, what do we say? It's mangled. It almost looks like the chick at the beginning of It Follows with her freaking leg just completely turned around and mangled.
Remember, that movie's PG-13, though, huh?
It's PG-13 film. Family friendly. Good for young teens.
Yeah, definitely not PG-13. This wasn't PG-13 either, but this is one of those rare movies where I thought they could have leaned more into PG-13.
If they didn't show this scene and one other one, they probably could have gotten away with PG-13.
Which, like, this one actually made me like, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I love feeling that way.
That's what we do. We like that shock value.
And he starts... basically, his parents are trying to get in the room. He barricades the room. He hears these, like, horns in his... Obviously, it's a car. Car, train, whatever. And this happens. He starts, like, little bits and pieces. Like, he just starts, like... Every shot is a new injury. And it is just... It's horrific. It is so well done. Blood's going everywhere, so he ends up becoming this mutilated corpse of himself, which is, this one is very bloody, it's very gory, this scene. His parents come in, and again, how the fuck are you going to explain this? How did he have a fucking car wreck in his goddamn room?
Insanity.
You were talking to him 5 seconds earlier, and he was fine, and then now, but, yeah, so, again, it's hard to explain this one. I would recommend seeing this movie just for this scene alone.
It's pretty dope.
It is, yeah. And then that's where so now the guys kind of know what's going on. They're like, all right, this isn't normal.
This is a real deal.
Yep. And so they end up going back to the first victim's grandma again, and kind of being like, okay, look at, like, what can we do? And she's like, once you've summoned it, there's no stopping it, unless you mark. When death is near, if you mark another target with your blood, then that person's death will come for them. So, that's kind of where it comes into the Final Destination 2 type thing. If you take somebody else's life, you will get their remaining years. And,
you interrupt the chain.
Mm-hmm. And there's more Final Destination 2 correspondence.
Particularly for our main character, Chris.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And, one of my beefs on this movie, but we'll talk about that. But so they decide, and the grandma dies. Because everybody fucking dies in this movie. She knows that she's like, I'm not afraid of death. Shout
out to Catelyn Stark.
Fuck yeah! I was like,
she's who plays the grandma.
At least she didn't get her throat slit in this one.
True.
At least no red wedding. And it took me forever to realize that's who that was. Mm-hmm. God damn it, Rob.
The Reigns of Castamere.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I actually saw the orchestra version of Game of Thrones, like that concert. It was so damn good.
Nice, dude. I'm trying to go to the Final Fantasy one they're having later this year.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, this one, before they start the Reigns of Castamere, he's like, okay, all the doors are locked. I was like, I appreciate that. But I was next to somebody that had never seen it, Game of Thrones, so they were so lost. They're just like, I just like the music. I'm like, fair enough, cool.
Yeah, you would. You don't know what's happening right now.
And shout out, I'm going on a lot of different tangents here, but shout out to fucking Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Holy fuck, that show is awesome. Okay, back on topic. Okay, so you got to mark someone with your blood to essentially save yourself. So Rel, he is full of rage now because the love of his life that we've figured out for 5 seconds is now dead because of this curse. So he decides to take the piece of shit pastor,
Noah,
and he knows. So yeah, Rel knows that he is going to die at the mill Like he's gonna go into the grinder. Something's gonna happen. So death will come for him there. So he ends up holding Noah at gunpoint. Takes him to the mill, ties him up, and his death starts coming. And this was another why this is a weird creative choice. Obviously the death here is really cool, but so he has a gun. And there's some back and forth with him and Noah, and he's like, "You're a piece of shit," and he's like, "I know I'm a piece of shit." The whole thing is that Noah is known for giving drugs to some kid and killing them. And he's like, I didn't know. So right here, you're like, oh, does he have some redeeming qualities? Is he just, misunderstood maybe a little bit? No.
He's a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit. Rel's about to kill him. He cuts his own hand. He's about to mark him with his own blood. You don't even have to kill him. Literally just
bloody.
Put some blood on him. Because he can hear his death. You can't see his death coming for him, but you can hear it. This is where Elle and Chris come in, and they're like, no, don't do it. And I'm going to have a reference here that it reminded me of that you're going to fucking hate me for.
How dare you?
I wonder if you can even guess it, but basically they're like, no, don't do it. No, you can't do this. You can't give it. He's like, no, why does he deserve to live? And you're like, yeah, why the fuck does he deserve to live? Hey, save yourself, dude. If I'm in that situation, I'm not even fucking hesitating. Basically, they wait. They're like, no, you can't do it. Well, death comes for our buddy Rel here. And this one is, whereas the drunk driving accident is clearly the gold medalist, this one's definitely the silver medalist.
Easy silver.
Yeah, because basically his body just starts getting just grinded invisibly, and the blood splattering everywhere. Literally, Chris has let her cousin die because she didn't want him to mark a shithead youth pastor.
By the way, held her captive with a knife earlier.
Yeah. But no, let's spare him. And the reference I was going to make here is your favorite movie of all time, and it is The Last Jedi, and where Finn is about to sacrifice himself for the greater good, and then Rose comes in and knocks his ship out, and I believe she said some stupid shit like,
"Because, dummy, we win by saving ourselves. We win by saving each other.
We don't win by killing
the
by
enemy.
destroying what we hate, but by saving what we love." I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? That's all it reminded me of. Was I'm just like, you just let him die this horrific fucking death because you wouldn't do this. So
now I'm mad. Now I'm in a bad mood.
I'm sorry. Why don't you take it from here?
I hate The Last Jedi so much.
I know.
Star Wars stopped at Return of the Jedi. I'm just saying that. Well, technically Revenge of the Sith, but story-wise, it stopped at Episode 6. 1 through 6 is Star Wars. Everything else is just someone's wet dream.
Fodder. Yeah.
Since
you're all worked up.
Now I'm all worked up. So this is where the Final Destination 2 vibes really come in hard. Because Chris kind of has the realization that they only need to die and not stay dead, which is exactly what happens in Final Destination 2. Our heroine, Kimberly, realizes that if we die, that interrupts the chain and it stops everything. Because we're basically giving death what it wanted all along. So if you guys have seen Final Destination 2, which you should have by now, she drowns herself. She drowns and dies, and she's able to be brought back through CPR and the paddles. So that's how she's the only one in the whole series actually that was able to save herself.
Confirmed, it's canon. She's the only one.
Yep, she's the only one. So in this film, Chris realizes it's the same thing. Oh, we have to die. We don't necessarily need to stay dead. So her plan is, Ellie is diabetic, and she's going to use Ellie's insulin and an ice bath. They're going to stop their hearts long enough to be considered dead, and they're going to resuscitate themselves with one of those, those shock devices you can get, AEDs. I work in a hospital, and I can't remember the name. I think it's an AED is what it's called.
Bomb?
A bomb. Mm-hmm. So you put a bomb on your chest, and that'll restart your heart.
It'll restart something.
And if you swallow it, that helps even better because it's closer proximity.
There you go.
So,
by the way,
Ellie,
can I just say I hate that fucking cliche. I was fine with it in Final Destination because it was somewhat fresh, but there are so many movies that do the let's die and then come back to life. It's like, fuck off.
It's like
So,
you're
sorry.
clearly getting lazy. Hollywood, your writers are going down. Pay them more so that you can get the creative ones to stay in.
Hey, we can't win by destroying what we hate, but only by saving what we love.
The fury and the rage that I feel right now. Ellie forces Chris to go first. And this is interesting because Chris is realizing that this is the scenario that matches the visions that she's seen of her death, i.e. Ellie. So she plunges into the ice bath, takes a shot of insulin, slow her heart. Where she struggles, when she's in the ice bath, you actually see her struggling against herself, like the apparition of her own death. You know what I mean? Like they're kind of fighting while she's in the ice bath. Like that's how they raise the tension in this.
Which
thing, to show
I
you
thought that
it's
was a
climax.
cool scene because it kind of remind. And I told you in one of the last episodes, like I love movies that do like the sunken place or the further or anything like that. I got those vibes here, so I thought that was a really cool visual there. But yeah,
Definitely.
Totally get you.
Noah, by the way, Noah's there, right? He's present. He frees himself, and because Rel had tied him up, he frees himself and he disrupts their plans. He uses Rel's gun to shoot the ED thing, the paddles, to disable it, and he injures Ellie right as her death's about to close in. I'm like, this fucking guy, why? Like,
No, you can't
what are you
blame
doing?
him. You can't blame him. This is all on them. They're fucking stupid.
They're insane.
All
you
you had to do was let Rel do his thing.
Yeah, you don't blame a dog that licks your sweaty forehead because that's what dogs do. Like, Noah is a piece of shit. You can't blame him for being a piece of shit. That's what he is. You blame the two that had the chance to do something about it and they chose not to. Anyway, yeah, Noah completely disrupts everything just because he's a dick. So, Chris, she manages to escape her death because, her heart stops. She escapes. She's able to kind of resuscitate herself. I guess it's the best way to put it. She wakes up and she realizes that Ellie is having a seizure because remember, Ellie's death was in the room too and it approached her. So Ellie is seizing. She's laying there seizing. Noah, this is the only kind of justice I guess you could say we get. So Chris has essentially escaped her death because she died and came back, right? Ellie is in the midst of her death. Noah's dumbass touches Ellie where he shot her, and her blood transfers from her to Noah, thus transferring.
Which Noah
the
heard
curse of Ellie
everything
to Noah.
that Rel was saying. It's like, I need to mark him. It's like,
There's a real suspension of disbelief in this one to kind of realize, this is what's happening in this story. The only way to follow it is to really disbelieve that the people around them are very stupid and they can't think. They can't think down the line. So anyway, Noah touches her. The blood transfers from her to him, thus marking him and her death. She immediately comes out of her seizure because her death vanishes. And with Noah, the curse being transferred to him, he's killed by, call it like a bloated, rotted version of himself. Like maybe he drowned and was in the water somewhere at some point.
he's Sloth from Seven.
That's a very good point. He's a big, fat, bloated version of himself. He shows up and kills the actual Noah. So little bit of justice there. But all the other people had to die because they couldn't do something about Noah, which is silly.
Yeah, fucking R.I.P. Rel.
Yeah, R.I.P. Rel. I know you were mad, but I'd be mad too.
Yeah, and so basically from here it's like the mega happy ending. I think it's like 2 months later.
2 or 3 months later, Chris and Ellie are in a relationship, like we said.
They're in love.
That's teen movie fodder.
And then, the most predictable thing of all time, this new student comes in, goes to the locker, picks, and oh my god, the death whistle's there. Oh my god, this is my shocked face.
Fun fact, I don't know if you stayed for the credits. Did you stay?
So that was what I was getting to. I was so pissed off. I was just like, all right, I'm done. And then I read a review on it after, and it was just like, oh, the mid-credit scene totally changes it. And so then I had to look it up. So why don't you talk about the post-credit scene? I actually wish I would have stayed for it.
So I pulled out my phone.
It had very Smile 2 vibes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I pulled out my phone when the credits started rolling because I needed to fire off a couple text messages, and that's why I happened to be there because everyone else was standing up and leaving, and I was like, I'll wait for them to get out. But a mid-credit scene, this freaking kid, she has the whistle.
Fucking idiot.
She blows the whistle in the middle of a school assembly, meaning everyone in the damn gymnasium heard that whistle go off. That town's about to have a pretty interesting chain of events happen real soon.
Hopefully it's more interesting than this movie. And I'm not trying to bash it. Like, it was entertaining enough. It just, like, for seasoned horror vets, like Chris said, you know, if you're in your teenage years right now, if you're getting new into horror, like, this is probably a pretty good one to start with because it has, has characters that you could probably relate to on some level. It has enough gore to satisfy. Like, hey, it kept me entertained because I'm like, man, what's the next death going to be? Like, this is awesome. Like, some are stupid CGI. They're either horrible CGI or fucking badass kills, which is awesome. But my favorite part of the show is I like to go through my notes and see what I missed. But yeah, obviously, I love how we've gotten further in the show, and I haven't. When we first started the show, I was gonna have like this big buildup of like, is this movie that we just covered gonna beat our previous champ? It's like the last few, like, no, fuck no. Primate,
No,
Ben, you're sticking. I'm sure Dr. Kelson with you is sticking. Samson, BDA baby, still swinging strong. Fuck if they if they played keep away with his dick, that'd be like a javelin
I got
throw.
it.
That would have.
Can you imagine
Sticking around, guys?
and it just falls on him.
Right. Big tree, fall hard, literally. So I lied a little bit. My very first note on this after the movie, because usually I just sit in my car and I write the notes,
Collect
when they're
yourself,
fresh
yeah.
in my mind. Yeah. Grace was in World War II, and then I said I need an all shovel team, so I'm glad I hit that. I said a really hot steamy shower scene, so I'm glad I got that. The stupid let's die then revive ourselves trope. Love the concept. I said there was no romantic development or chemistry anywhere, even whether it's Rel and Grace and her boyfriend, or Chris and Ellie. No development whatsoever. I did not care if these guys ended up together. I did not care at all.
Zero interest in actually that character development and that relationship development.
Mm-hmm. I was like, wow, parents are really cool about drunk driving.
Yeah.
And if my parents saw me do that, I can't even tell you what would happen on this show.
I would have been beaten to death before I have a chance to die from drunk driving.
Yeah, and then they bring you back to life just to kill you.
Kill you again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I said the drunk driving and steel mill deaths were awesome. I was like, what the fuck is up with the random preacher bad guy, and why didn't they just let Rel kill him?
I hated Noah so much, dude. Like,
it's one of the dumbest characters we've covered on this show. It's just completely unnecessary.
I don't understand, like, the service the man had to... I mean, I get it. He needs to be, like, the living antagonist, right? But the Death Whistle is the actual antagonist. You don't need to add fodder on top of it. But...
Well, and this is where it could have been, where he could have had some redeeming qualities where, like, he is misunderstood. And, like, everything that he's done maybe has just been put into a vacuum, and you don't know the real Noah. No, he's just a shithead that was just thrown in there, which... God, I was so pissed off.
I fucking hated that guy.
I actually thought if Rel had gone through with it, I thought Rel's death would have been coming after him, so he would have gotten the mill. I thought that would have been cool, but neither here nor there. And then my very last
They were in the
one,
mill. I would have loved if he threw him in a grinder or something.
right? And then my very last note was, how the fuck is a high school team named the Stalkers? Well, and another one that I just thought of, I don't know if you caught this, when they're talking to the grandma, they're like, yes, death came for my grandson and my daughter. It's like, when the fuck did the mom die? Like, it's just, so many just random...
Yeah, how did she get out of it?
Yeah, how many random stupid shit was in this movie? I don't know. What final notes do you have on this?
I also put down that I hated Noah so much, and I don't understand what the writers were thinking. I mean, I can understand the fodder part of it, but yeah, hated that son of a bitch. I wrote down, I love car crash deaths in regards to Dean, because that was pretty damn cool, just the way that they did it. I also, I think I made a note after it, I was like, I also like grinder deaths, because of the way we got to see Rel dying. So I thought that was pretty dope. And then my third note was, I don't care about horror movie relationships.
That's true. If a horror movie can make you care about them, then it's top notch. Like, if you actually care. But, and that's what when you've seen enough horror movies, you want it to be, hey, I know all these people are going to die, and I want to show up for that carnage. And that's what I thought Final Destination Bloodlines did so well, because Final Destination movies, you are just accustomed to, hey, I met this group of characters, they're all going to die horrific deaths, and I cannot wait to see them. In Final Destination Bloodlines, you still want to see that stuff, but you're like, oh man, like it's this family now, like each character has even the guy you think is going to be the douchebag isn't a douchebag really. He's this adopted kid. Like
I rewatched Bloodlines like not last week, but the week before. I forgot how bloody that one is. Mm-hmm. They really went heavy.
Dude, every time I look at my wedding ring, I can't. Fuck.
I will quick shout out to Final Destination Bloodlines because they
good.
brought the log truck trope and how they did it as a log train at the very end. It completely comes out of nowhere. You're just like, holy shit, did that just happen?
Well, and early in the movie, they drive past a log truck and you're like, yes.
You're like.
Which, okay, with a series that have gone on this long, and yeah, we're talking about Final Destination because this movie was,
it's really good.
Really fun. It is funny because there's been, 6 Final Destination movies? 6 or 7? And it's just funny that Final Destination 2 is far and away the best one.
Easily.
Yeah, and I think even when we did our rankings on Final Destination, I think Bloodlines came in second for both.
And then the first one came in number 3.
Yep. Which is just weird that Final Destination 2, it's rare that a sequel can do that. Which, obviously, we're crawling right towards Scream 7. Oof. The anticipation is so fucking high.
Is Sydney gonna die? Is it gonna happen?
Let me ask you this. Do you want her to die?
I do not want her to die. No. Sydney's the heroine of the franchise. I don't want to see the heroine die.
Well,
because you know why? When you take the hero of a franchise and you kill them, fucking Last Jedi, fuck you, you lose so much investment of what all of it meant before.
Hey, Last Jedi didn't kill Leia. She became Mary Poppins. He's if you guys are listening, he is literally like foaming at the mouth and steam's coming out of his ears. It's hilarious.
My brain is short-circuiting right now.
Yeah, but I go back.
I don't want Sydney to die,
and I'm leaning that way too. I don't want her to die, but I'm like, if they do it in the right way, like to where it actually like emotionally impacts you, because like with Dewey's death,
it would make sense. It's a closure loop, right?
Right,
it's a closure loop.
And especially since the whole story on this one is Ghostface is going after her daughter, who is now the same age as she was when it all started. I think that's a cool concept.
The only way that it would make sense to me is if Ghostface in this movie is someone that's tied back to the original and the original 2. You know what I mean?
Hey.
It'd have to be someone of consequence to Sydney.
My long-standing conspiracy theory, Gale Weathers.
I like the way you think. We'll see.
That's and I don't know if it would happen.
They'll kill each other.
They're both Ghostface, and
they're both Ghostface. They do that. They see each other and they wipe the blood off the knife towards each other.
I would shit my pants in the theater if that happened. The one thing I do not want to see with this movie, and I'm kind of afraid that I'm even putting it out in the universe, is I'm so excited to see Stu Macher again. I hope it's not AI Stu Macher. I hope that's not what it is. I hope he is actually alive. I can get behind everything because, I just want to see Matthew Lillard. That's all I want to see. And then I saw Roman's in it. Mm-hmm. It is going to tie back somehow, which leading into this, guys, in 2 weeks, it's going to be the Scream week. We're going to do the Scream 7 episode, obviously, but leading up to that, we are going to do the Ghostface Gauntlet, where we're going to do the random spinning wheel, and each Ghostface is going to go up against each other in a random order, and we're going to just see, and I don't know how I'm going to rank it. It's going to be going on feel, because, some are going to physically overpower the others, some are smarter than the others. Who's just the overall best Ghostface? I don't have any way that this is going to go.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be thrilling.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a scream.
It's a scream, baby.
It's a scream of a scream. But wait, there's more.
There's more. Scary movie reference right there. But wait,
you gotta have to. Hold on to your seats, baby, because this one's a screamer.
Okay. Ending this episode out. First, next week, we don't have a topic for our Monday episode, but next Friday we are actually we're gonna do one in Chris's wheelhouse. We're doing the new Dracula movie. Has Christoph Waltz in it. I love me some Christoph Waltz. Interesting to see. Obviously, if you guys have listened to episodes in the past, Chris was really into the other Dracula movie.
So was Dracula,
Yep, with Keanu Reeves. He loves that
Gary
British accent,
Oldman.
baby.
I actually studied at Oxford. I love Keanu.
Yeah, fucking Keanu. You're my guy. So with that, at the end of the episode, we always have suggestions for a horror movie to check out. What is yours this week?
I was excited to do this one because I actually rewatched it last week. We're going with Don't Breathe by Fede Alvarez. Of course, we love Fede Alvarez's work, both in the Evil Dead remake in 2013. He also directed Alien Romulus a little bit more recently, which, in my opinion, is the second best Alien film of them all after Aliens. Don't Breathe is...
You just wanted to... Don't whisper. Don't whisper.
Whisper, you don't want me to whisper here.
Sorry, go
Don't
on.
Breathe is a really cool premise on a horror film because it has to do with three delinquents who they commit crimes or criminals. They break into people's houses and steal from them. And this one house they think is going to be an easy score because the man who lives there is completely blind. And I mean completely blind. He cannot see a thing. They think it's going to be an easy score. They'll get in. They'll take the money out of his safe. They find out through some weird means that he has I think one of the kids did some work for him at the house and noticed the safe, but they think they're going to easily be able to break into the house, steal the money. It does not go to plan, and this guy who absolutely is blind, he is so much more nefarious and twisted than you think. You kind of get the impression at the beginning, and as this is happening, that he's just this poor innocent blind dude that these kids are ripping off, but you come to find out as the movie progresses that this man is not an innocent victim in all this, suffice to say. Has the great Stephen Lang, plays a fantastic villain in everything he does. We get to see the girl, actually the main character from the Evil Dead reboot, in the film as well. So yeah, Don't Breathe. It's super suspenseful. It's not gory horror at all. This is more like suspense and terror kind of horror.
However,
but for that reason,
you will never look at a turkey baster the same.
Never.
And
you'll never look at a turkey baster the same way.
I'll back you up on this one because it is a really good movie. I was lucky enough to see it in like a Dolby theater where the sound, because it's ironic because it's a very quiet movie for a lot of
similar to A Quiet Place. Yep. Similar to A Quiet Place.
So I would recommend watching this with like noise canceling headphones just to get the full experience on it, because it truly does build up the suspense on it. There's you know me, I love a good night vision scene.
Really cool premise, really cool sound design on this one. Loved it.
And the characters are really well written. Even a blind guy, he's it's really damn good. So. Glad you picked that one. I know you're gonna love what I picked. It's more recent. It was a little divisive, I'd say, among fans. I am talking about none other than The Last Jedi. Sorry, I want him to kill me this episode.
You might wake up dead, buddy.
Yeah, I might. How do you wake up dead? You go to sleep alive and then you wake up dead?
You can go to sleep alive and not wake up alive, but you can't go to sleep dead and wake up dead.
But if a mouse goes into the house, is it now a rat?
That's some clever shit right there.
Okay, anyway, my real suggestion. I had a tough time coming up with one this week because I like to tie it into kind of the theme of the episode. I was looking up, like, what horror movies where does somebody whistle a lot? I landed on one that does not have to do anything with whistling, so hide and clap, yeah. But this one, ironically, actually has to do with somebody breaking into a house as well. And I'm going to do actually the series of movies because I actually love them both equally. I'm going with The Collector and The Collection. Mm-hmm.
Good choice.
Yeah, so this one... This deals with a guy who also he breaks into a house to rob this family. He does it for good reasons, though, because he's trying to get money and get stuff for his child. Like, obviously, he shouldn't be breaking into someone's house. But and basically, the serial killer collects bodies, he has this big trunk, but he is a master trap setter. He very much like Jigsaw. And I will tell you the collection, the reason why it ends up on this list, the sequel, is because it has one of the most badass opening scene kills of all time. It takes place in a nightclub. I won't go much further into it. This one...
Is it like Blade? He just shows up and massacres everybody.
You don't have to watch the first one to get the second one. There is some carryover, but the character development's pretty well done in this one as well. I think it was a pretty low-budget movie. This one is pretty gory. It kind of reminded me of, if you've ever, I think it was, H.H. Holmes had the Murder House? Kind of like that, yeah. Has those vibes. He wears this, this BDSM mask kind of thing. It's, but he is so sadistic, and you never really truly get a motive. But if you just like movies with carnage, this is one for you. I think there's supposed to be a third one that's in development hell, but that's what I got. Collector and collection.
Good choices.
And after mentioning Last Jedi so much, you will want to throw me in that trunk. So
I'm ready to find this. I'm ready to become the collector of Ryan.
There you go. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Been real.
Any cops listening? I don't know if you get it.
The spouse is the first subject, first suspect. So,
well, yeah, and so, yeah. My wife also works in the medical field. I know that she could kill me and make it look like an accident, and she reminds me of that too. So, every day is a horror movie. It's great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for everything. I do want to say we did just hit our 50th episode. Last episode was our 50th published episode.
Did we really?
Yep.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
And we also hit over 1,000 downloads. So I know we're early on in the show, but every single one of those downloads, we love you guys.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your guys' days to listen to me and my buddy talk horror movies. We hope you guys obviously enjoy them like we do, because that's kind of the purpose of the show. Horror, like you said, horror's for everyone. There's something out there for everybody. But your listens and the fact that you put us in your headphones means the world to us.
And I haven't done exactly how many countries we're in, but we're in a lot, so I can't thank you enough. We just got Ukraine the other day. It's our first one from Ukraine, so thank you guys over there. But yeah, every single one of those downloads mean the world to us. It's free for you guys, so we appreciate the support. We'll keep bringing this to you as long as we can. So stick with us for Dracula next week. Christoph Waltz, Mr.
Can't go
Django.
wrong.
Yep. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.
Click the wrong thing.
Thanks for listening to the Roasted Snow Horror Show.
Please follow us on our social media pages and tell your friends.
Pretty please!